I'm back with another video. I'm here, I'm gonna be playing, what's the name of this game again? Oh my god, I genuinely forgot. We're gonna be playing Tricky Towers, and I hope you enjoy. I'm gonna be doing the puzzle challenge to see how well I can do, and also just hopefully do better. Yeah. Okay, so today's topic. What should we talk about? Should we talk about how much I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and how I thought I would have it figured out at 23, which was very naive of me, but then again, I was a child. But how crazy is it that I feel like everyone, like from the age of like when they are 23 and you're like a teenager or a child, and they give advice like, oh, you can do everything in your 20s, you can do this and you can do that. And okay, for a lot of people that's the truth, I'm sorry, but if you have money, okay, it's so much easier for you. But if you don't, honey, you have to hustle. And it's also like being like, oh, I hate my job, but then again, oh, I need money, right? It is like you have to find opportunities for yourself. You have to like get out and get contacts, because if you don't have contacts, it's very hard to make it in society right now. And it's a lot of people do really well because they start like a YouTube channel early on, or they start some sort of, they do things for their career early on in the game, like whether when they're teenagers or, oh, that actually really helped me out. To be honest, the fact that they give little blocks, it's just a bigger help. Why would they do that? I would prefer without the blocks, because then it actually tests you, no? Like when you're playing like 2-on-2. Anyway, yeah, it's just a tough life out there if you don't have any contacts or if you haven't done anything. And for me, honestly, I did not think I'd make it past like, I don't know, 16, and then again 19 or 18, So I've gotten to that point where I'm literally like, girl, you did nothing for yourself. Now you have to, and it can be very disheartening. And so right now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And also all of this while you're also trying to grow, love yourself, take care of yourself, like we're always told to do. But man, like, I'm sorry, but how am I supposed to do all of that and have a career and have a good social life and be able to accomplish my dreams? And then I'm told, oh, not to just dream, because dreams are, are just dreams. And then some people are like, oh, but dreams help you and give you passion and all this. And I'm like, oh my god, it's too much advice from everywhere. And I think it's even worse now, like with TikTok, information is so like easy. It's so easy to film a TikTok and to film a video talking about things you don't even know or have experience. It's just people with opinions. So you have to be very, very, very meticulous when it comes to like getting information and taking advice from people, because it's everyone's own situation, own personal thing, what am I trying to say? They're very like their own experience, so not everyone's experience is going to be the same. But that's where like it can go wrong if you just listen to their advice, but you don't take into account that that was their experience with different people, with different personalities, with different backgrounds. And then there's you who like maybe does, it didn't happen in the same way. No experience is the same, even though it can feel the same, or you can bend no, bond, oh my gosh, even though you can bond over it, not one situation is the same. So that's something I'm also learning, of like just being careful of whose advice I take. I think I talked about this in a TikTok video that I did, and I literally said I was so used to, oh, that nearly fell, taking people's advice whenever they give it to me, even though I know myself better than anyone. You know yourself better than anyone, right? And you know when you don't want to do something, and you know when something made you uncomfortable. But for someone else, it can be a completely different scenario. And oh, that's let's get rid of that. And I think that's the thing about it. Sometimes, especially in the way you grow up, you're not taught to trust your own instincts, and that's something I wasn't. So I listened to people and I let them get into my head and I let them walk all over me when I shouldn't have, when I should have been standing up for myself. But then again, okay, you live and you learn, and with years and experience and situations and friendships and relationships, you end up learning this. But a lot of the time, I feel like there's so much you can avoid if only like you just get taught the basics when you're a child, right? Which I feel like is when you should, not just a child but teenager and things like that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Advice: definitely be cautious. Genuinely, like, put it to the test. Ask other people what they think, like real life people in your life, not just people on the internet. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't take advice from people on the internet. That's not what I'm saying, because a lot of people give really great advice. And I already lost. Oh no. Oh, the score just goes back down. Okay, thank you very much. All right, it does get closer. I keep forgetting that. Because this one's a little different than the other one. Oh, for goodness sake. I don't think I have any more space, do I? There's literally no other place I can put this. Oh, okay. What was I saying? Right, some people have really great advice, but it's just really being careful if you should take it or not. And also, literally what I said in my video was, when you take these advice, make sure you also know, like, I mean, it's not possible to always know, but take a look at what's going on in the person's life. If they describe their life as like chaotic and there's so much happening and there's drama surrounding this person's life, do you really think you should be taking advice from them? Because I, like, genuinely, like, thinking about it, I'm like, no, I don't think you should. I don't think you should be taking advice from people whose life is like chaotic. So like, why are they giving advice if they can't figure out their own lives, you know? And obviously we're people, we don't always have the right answer. We can still give advice even though our lives are a mess. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying to also be cautious, because sometimes we give advice, right, but we don't take it. That's another thing. I'm usually that kind of person where I give advice, but I don't always take my advice, which, you know, but I'm just saying, it's just being cautious. Being cautious is, I don't think, is ever a bad thing. I don't think it's ever a bad thing. I think being cautious is also just showing how smart you are. And yeah, oh no, really? I could have done so much more. But yeah, just being cautious of advice and people. And yeah, because I just, like, growing up around adults and around a lot of different types of people, I think, I wish, funny enough, I felt like that should have helped me in a lot of ways, as in to get ahead. I think it did make me have to grow up a little bit more, because I felt expected to be at a certain level of, like, understanding and acting like more of an adult instead of a kid or a teenager. There was an expectation on me, whether they thought there was or not. But anyway, yeah, I feel like that should have, oh, you absolutely joking me. That was doing so well, I thought. But I feel like it should have prepared me more, but I don't know if it has, you know? I feel like it more damaged me than anything. I mean, now that I'm actually, like, taking time to learn about myself and taking time to, like, oh, sorry. Oh, thank you for that. Taking time to accept myself, I'm kind of learning the things that I've been through and being like, okay, now maybe this didn't, you know, give you the best memories and give you the best emotions or things to deal with in this situation, but I guess now I am learning to be more of my person, and that's what I need to be. Sometimes it's through the rough situations that you learn that you actually can do something and that you actually are capable of something. Unfortunately, yeah, sometimes it is through heartbreak or through just an emotional time, through just pain in general. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks, but I think it's just part of the human life experience. Yeah, and I genuinely, oh, I thought that was gonna get through. Genuinely do wish it was different, but just not, know you're not alone going through this life thing and life changes and experiencing these tough moments and tough situations where you feel alone. But trust me, you are absolutely not alone. Yeah, why did I think that was gonna make it? You are not alone at all, even though the world and your brain and people even and situations will make it feel like you have no one, but you absolutely do. And I think one person who you need to trust more than anyone else in the world is you, and it's being your friend. And because if you're not your friend, I feel like it gives out a signal to people that they can take advantage of you. And I've only just noticed that because I've been through like a friendship sort of like a friendship ended, a friendship that I really cherished, it ended, but I was taken for granted. And I think I also like let myself be led down that path. I'm not gonna blame myself for their actions because they know exactly what they did. You know, they treated me badly. But then again, I think because if I had seen myself, if I had put myself up in a higher standard, if I had just taken more care of myself, I feel like you would have noticed. You know, when those situations start happening, when people start taking you for granted, you start noticing, and you don't let them. But I did to a certain point, obviously unknowingly, but it happened and I did. And I think it's one of those things where the more you love yourself, the more you know yourself, the more you figure out the kind of people you want around you, the kind of people you want to share your things with, your time and your love and your care, then the more the right people will come along. Because I've noticed that, like, even though I've lost this, like, the friendship that I cherished and that I thought would last for, ever, I found out I was putting them on a pedestal and putting myself so low, and also just thinking like, oh, I had no better friends, and what would I do because I didn't have friends, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, no, that's not true at all. You have so many friends that actually do care for you and do actually get into contact and do this and do that. And it's one of those situations, it's like, it really is, you have to go through it to learn about yourself. And it's life. As much as we hate it, and as much as we hate having to go through these situations and having to learn this way, because God knows it's not fun, it just is what it is. And I think the sooner you realize that your love for yourself is more important than just everybody else, I think the easier things do become. The more you start accepting your own flaws and the things that you've been through, they still affect you, but it's kind of one of those things where you're like, oh, but I can deal with this. I am strong enough to be able to deal. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, okay, thank you. It's one of those things where you're like, oh, I can actually do this for myself, and I can actually stand up for myself, and I can be who I want to be, and I don't have to think about what they say and what this person did. And you end up forgiving other people for things you didn't know you held back. Because I am that person. I internalized a lot of what people said. Yes, it hurt me in the moment, and sometimes I would show it, sometimes I wouldn't, but I internalized what people say about me. And I now am getting to a point where even when I'm doing my makeup in a mirror and like a certain situation comes up, I'm like, I forgive them. I'm not gonna hold a grudge anymore. I'm not gonna waste my time thinking about what could have been or how I would have dealt with the situation differently, because I know I'm not the only person that goes in the mirror and goes like, oh, I should have said this and I should have said that. And honestly, sometimes I wish I did, but because I didn't, or whether I did or not, it's so good to like just forgive. Oh God. And I know forgiveness is not easy, because I have been holding grudges for things that I didn't know I was holding grudges for, until I thought about it again, and I'm like, how the heck is this still attached to me, like dirty freaking laundry, that sort of thing. but genuinely forgiving those people for treating, I genuinely was like, why did I ever think this was gonna work? For treating, I have no idea what I just said. Yeah, I completely forgot my train of thought. Was I saying for what people have done to me? Anyway, you have just learning to forgive. That comes with loving yourself, though. The more you love yourself, the more like the things that, I didn't see that. The more you love yourself, the more you start forgetting what, like, the grudges you used to hold or the things that people did against you, because it doesn't matter anymore, because it's like you're focusing on yourself so much that you're genuinely just like forgetting, is that the right word? That you're sort of, yeah, I guess forgetting can be the word for me right now. You're just, you change your focus. Yeah, you change your focus because you're focusing on yourself. There's no need to focus on the things, on the shitty things that they did to you. There's no need to have that hold on anymore. I think for some of us, I don't know about everyone, but a lot of the time I think I held on to like the things that people did to me because it was something I could control, you know? Are you absolutely joking me? How can I even... No, that's not gonna work. Oops. Okay, this might work. Anyway, okay, let me just see what I can do. Yeah, that was one way that I felt like I had control in my life, and it was, I could hold, you know, like that thing against the person. I don't think I ever thought of it that way, right? Because a lot of the time I don't think we do, but it just happens. And yeah, it makes you feel like some sort of power, I guess, when you have a life that you feel like is out of your control. And I think that's somewhat how I felt. Sorry, my chain of thought just completely goes away. I don't know why I keep apologizing, because it's a normal part of human life, and also having ADHD, it just happens. Also because I'm a big talker. Anyway, yeah, so when you feel like you don't have control, you hold on to these things that you feel that make you have control. And I think that's also why a lot of people that are in these situations end up doing like drugs or being alcoholics, and just doing things that, you know, self-harm related, because it's the wanting to be in control. And I definitely went through a phase where I did some things and I was just like, why am I doing that? Now that I look back, I'm like, what the heck went through me? But that's what it was. And instead of the people around me genuinely wanting to help me and asking how they could help me, I got told off and I didn't get the help I needed, you know? And I only ended up getting that sort of help when I surrounded myself with people that kind of understood me a bit more and just let me breathe. I needed that space to breathe. And when I did get that, I genuinely did learn a lot and just accept myself. But yeah, I think the topic of this video was about advice. But yes, like I said, when you... I don't know what to do. I could have fit it in somewhere, I think on the side, on to the right. Okay, what was I saying? I think I keep getting stuck in the 50s, don't I? Genuinely, what was I saying? What in the world was I saying? Oh, do you think I can fit that in there? That would actually be perfect. Yes, there we go. What was I saying? I think I've been doing too wide, so that's why I haven't been going up that much. What have I been saying? Oh my gosh, sometimes it does annoy me though how my brain just completely forgets what I'm saying. I feel like I need a person here. That was so bad. Okay, let me try and remember where my train of thought was. Never mind, I forgot. Genuinely forgot what I was saying. Okay, forgiveness. There was forgiveness. There was knowing yourself. Okay, like, okay, yeah, and then not having control. So I found out that when I left my parents' house, I got the space that I needed to breathe and to figure out not only who I wanted to be, but who I actually was. And that I wasn't this person that I thought I was, this like sad person who, you know, I don't know, I had a completely different view of myself. And I think I pitied, you are absolutely joking me, I pitied myself a lot because of the things I've gone through, and I definitely played the victim in a lot of things. And I felt like it made me learn, like growing up, like not growing up, moving out helped with that, because I had to deal with different people in different situations, and I didn't have my parents, right? So I saw things, it's like, because the thing is, your parents are there to protect you and are there to help you, and a lot of us don't have a great experience with them or things like that, but in some way they do, I don't know about you guys, but mine, I think, spared my feelings in some ways, God knows, but in some ways. So they didn't really like tell me certain things, or like they shielded me a lot. I was very shielded in my home. So when I left and I had to deal with people and situations and people like outside of that environment, especially like from a religious point of view, outside of that environment, I had to learn to grow up, and it definitely helped in who I am right now and today, and moving forward. It was honestly the best decision for me, and I would not change it for the world. Like, I know my my mom did not want me to leave, but we had how? Are you joking me? Okay, fine, do that then. Let me see if I can get it. Okay, goodbye. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, we didn't have the greatest relationship, so she felt really lonely when I left and stuff like that, and I had to learn to be like, I love you, but I need this space for myself. I need to grow by myself without like your opinions, and without you telling me no to this, or this is how you think and this is how I should think. I needed to grow my own opinions and grow some balls. I needed to grow some goddamn balls, because being sheltered makes you not only play the victim, but it also makes you be the victim in a lot of situations where you don't stand up for yourself, where you don't tell people no, where even if you tell people no, you don't know what to do next, or you don't know how to like do things by yourself. And you have to learn that. It is a vital thing of growing up. You have to learn to stand up for yourself and to do things for yourself, because if you cannot do things for yourself, you're expecting other people to do it. And other people, first of all, they won't do it the exact same way as you. They won't do it with the same sort of as much as people around you love you, they also have their own lives. They have got their own problems. So if you don't figure out how to do something and you ask someone else, you're always waiting on that other person, and you're always like feeling bad because you might want it at this certain time and that person's not going to do it at the same time. You know, it's just so many things. Relying on other people is great, but you've also got to learn to rely on yourself, and that's something I didn't do. I didn't rely on my own opinions, didn't rely on myself, it's just, I didn't rely on my own brain, I think, because I was just so sheltered from the world, and I told so many things about the world and people and things like that. And when I got out here, I learned to make my own decisions about who I wanted to be surrounded by, who I could be friends with, what I wanted to do, the type of environment that I wanted to be in. I got to make my own decisions, and that is so important as part of growing up and being a young adult and being a normal adult in society. You need to learn those things, and I couldn't have done it if I hadn't left my house, because my parents believe that, like, you know, just the Christian sort of lifestyle is just very different, you know, at least from their point of view. But anyway, I think I'm done with this video. I am a little tired. I don't know what I'm going to use from this video, but hopefully I can use certain things. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed me fail many times. Thank you. This is my outro.